With New Age around the corner, there's going to be a lot of returning players coming back to Maplestory. A lot has changed, and in the New Age patch on November 15th, 6 job will be introduced to our server. This will completely change everything, and I wanted to tell you guys what the top 5 classes are for new players to main in New Age. These classes are ones I think that anyone can find great success on and could be recommended to anyone that starts this game. What I value in these classes is their quick learning curves, ease of mobbing, kits, and overall damage output. Simply put, they just got it all for low effort. To start with number 5, we gotta talk about Hero. There's nothing really bad about Hero. Everything about the class is either good enough or excellent. Hero's mobbing has gotten a lot better over the patches with the increased range on Burning Soul Blade. It doesn't TP back to you like how it used to anymore. On top of that, Hero has Beam Blade that can help you clear mobs from a distance as well. In terms of Hero bossing, it's a 2-minute class with excellent DPS and good burst. 2-minute class means that its burst cooldowns come up every 2 minutes, so you would work around that timer in a party ideally. Hero's first skill that gets boosted with 6 job is Raging Blow, which is their primary source of damage. With Hero's new origin skill, its burst increases so much because their skill has a short animation. This is a good thing because it could fit most of its damage within a burst window like Bind or Ring of Restraint. Hero's survivability is also good with skills like Blitz Shield and World Reaver. Having a short cooldown shield and iframe are very strong and versatile in a lot of situations. Hero will place in 5th though because it does not offer much support and its movement isn't too special. Either way, Hero is still a top main for new players and definitely something to consider. Moving on to number 4, Buccaneer. What's really cool about Buccaneer is they have a skill called Lord of the Deep. Basically, it creates a serpent around you that automatically does damage for you. This skill, in fact, is a huge part of their total damage, so a big part of your damage is essentially happening automatically. Buck has excellent DPS and a good burst too. Unlike Hero, Buck is a 3-minute class, meaning their biggest burst cooldowns come up every 3 minutes and mini burst every 90 seconds. Buccaneer has a unique skill called Defense Form. To keep it simple, Buccaneer takes reduced damage from incoming attacks every so often. This makes Buccaneer's survivability kind of insane, to be honest. Adding on to Buck's survivability, it has very good movement. You have options to move pretty much omnidirectionally with your Serpent Vortexes and Lightning Form TPs. Also Corkscrew Blow positioning you behind bosses. Buck's training is very straightforward too. Most maps you can just super jump in a circle and spam Hook Bomber. When you're strong enough, you can just one-shot with Lord of the Deep and just jump in a circle. With 6 job, Buccaneer's origin skill is not one of the best ones. It is a decent burst and adds DPS over 30 seconds, with the original Serpent attacking every so often. Buccaneer gets its Octo Punch boosted with 6 job as well, which is a huge increase in their DPS. Buck has small support with their Pyro banner that gives IED and stat to party members, and in some situations, Time Leap can be huge for certain classes, resetting their cooldowns. Overall, Buck has got so much going for it and is definitely a top class. Number 3 is Nightwalker. Let's get this out of the way. Bite farming is one of the most broken things on this game, period. Part of what makes Nightwalker so powerful is its ability to farm very lazily and maintain incredible rates. It is one of the best mobbers in the game because you can make crazy rates if you sweat, and you can also make crazy rates if you want to just hold down one button. This is very huge for progression no matter where you're at in the game. Nightwalker's damage is also very high. Even though its origin skill is not the most broken skill in the game, it's still strong and adds a ton of damage to your burst. Nightwalker has amazing burst and DPS on a 3-minute timer. On top of that, their survivability is good too. Although Last Resort can make situations tricky, having the ability to reposition with Greater Dark Servant and utilizing Darksight makes you very hard to kill. Nightwalker has its own door type skill as well that gives it a bonus life. It also has a shield and backstep, which is huge. Its 6 job boosts Quintuple Throw, which is one of their main sources of damage. On the flip side, Nightwalker offers no support to the party, which prevents me from ranking it any higher. Ultimately, this class is extremely strong and ranks so high solely because of how powerful bite farming is. Number 2 is Bishop. Some of you may be surprised that Bishop is not number 1. The only reason I think Bishop is not number 1 is because it needs a lot of Legion to be truly amazing. Most new players won't have that much Legion and will struggle on Bishop very early on. But everything else about this class is so insanely broken. Everything from the damage to the mobbing to the support is just insane on Bishop. It is also a very forgiving class, which is huge for new players. Bishop's support is completely unrivaled on this game. You are by far the most important party member in any scenario. The amount of damage and survivability you offer to the party cannot be matched in any way. Not only do you give crazy support, Bishop also has very high damage as well. Another cool thing about Bishop is that it can play in a 2-minute or 3-minute party with its support. So any configuration you want in this party, Bishop does well. It has very good mobbing with a summon you can put down and short cooldown FMA with Peacemaker. You can give yourself and your party extra lives with Door, and almost all your skills just heal your party too. Its 6 job boosts Angel Ray, which is a huge part of your damage. Its origin skill is a very long one that passively increases your DPS too. The Bishop experience is great for new players too, because you can get into parties much easier than most people. Despite Bishop truly shining brightest when you have AK Legion or higher, it still is an amazing class and does well in any situation. I think the number one class for new players is Dawn Warrior. Now, the thing about Dawn Warrior is that it is so insanely strong for literally zero effort. Unironically, this class is known as the crayon eating class. Its damage, mobbing, and support are so good without requiring a brain. Dawn Warrior's origin skill is a quick one that does massive damage and increases your final damage. Its 6-drop boosts Solar Slash and Lunar Divide, which increases your bossing and mobbing damage a ton. This is a 3-minute burst class with decent DPS. Bossing on it is very easy and forgiving with little key inputs and iframes to save you when you're in trouble. Mobbing is so easy when you just rotate a few skills and jump around. Its bombing skills hit so hard you can one-shot very easily. Dawn Warrior also happens to be one of the best supports to have in a party as well. They have a skill called True Sight, and when you have the hyper passives as well, it decreases the IED of the target, gives final damage, and decreases elemental resistance. This is 100% uptime too, so the whole party will just be doing so much more damage all the time. I think the only downside of Dawn Warrior is that some people think it's boring to play because of how easy it is. Let me know what you think of my top 5 classes for new players. Is there something I missed or another class you think that should be here? Let me know in the comments. Link to join each class's Discord is below if you want more in-depth explanations on each class. If you want to watch me play Maplestory live, consider following on Twitch. I help everybody for free. And if you want to see more videos, consider subscribing. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you to my amazing members, Scuffed, Blazefire, Shooms, DVI Dan, Uju, Shagad, Relver, Ravi, Grim4K, and Koga. You guys are the goats.